Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. I know I don't have my usual background, and I didn't play you a song because somehow or another I deleted a bunch of stuff. So I don't have anything ready to show you. So forgive me for that. But this is the beautiful Ximena, and she is my guest tonight. And her
Thank
channel
you.
is The Magic of Healing Your Soul, and I'm going to pin that at the top of the chat. And let's
Thank
see,
you.
we've got the Gen X effect is already here. Welcome.
Yeah.
Let me
He's
get,
out and about, but he said he would join, and we'll see who from the people in my chat join. So we'll
yeah.
see. Yeah, he's super
I
supportive.
went over to the Sources channel a little bit earlier and told him that I was going live at 6 with you as my guest. So hopefully he will come or send some people over. I don't know. All right, let's see if I'm going to be able to get this set up. I always feel rushed when I've had my granddaughter because I don't have a lot of time to sit and think about things. I just kind of like, okay, bye, see you later. Okay, now we're going to do this. So I'm
Yeah,
not,
it happens.
yeah, I'm not as prepared as I normally like to be.
It's
All
okay.
right, okay, all right. Oh, not the magic of healing your health, healing your soul.
Yeah, the handle is Magic of Healing Your Soul. I think.
Yep.
Let me.
Okay. Now, let me go ahead and start with that question. How did you decide on the name of your channel?
How did I decide it? Okay, so I practice Wicca practices. So I like what we call magic and spirituality, and it's more of a different route. I do tarot readings. I work with angels. I work with energies, and that helped me a lot with my healing journey. After all, like I have gone through difficult situations, and I was thinking something that would reflect like the journey and the things that I love, and that's why I came up with that one because it's a healing journey. I talk mental health, mindfulness, spirituality. I don't discriminate against any religion or practice or anything, and everyone's welcome because that's like no matter what you practice, spirituality is a personal journey. So that's what I focus on. But I do have the hippity twist, like I like to call it, which is I do oracle readings and um, candles, things like that. I love like what I do, but yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why I decided for the
Hello,
name.
Body Illusion. Welcome. And hello, Positive Crash Out
Hey,
Vlogs. Welcome, welcome. I
hi,
always
Body
like to
Lotion. Nice
ask
to see
people
you.
how they came up with their name because I didn't think about my name too much. And that's why I recently changed my name because now I have thought about it and have, changed it. But it's like, then once you change it, people are like, who is this? And then you're like, oh, it's me.
It threw me off when you change it and you show up in the channel. I'm like, who's Kalei? It's come from happening. Then you said it's
I
Seiko. I'm
know.
like, oh, okay.
I know.
Okay.
I was like, you didn't think about that too much about how people were going to, react when you did change it. So I always do things backwards. I don't think I ever put a lot of thought in things that you need to put thought into. And then I'm like, okay, well, I've done it now. So we got to go ahead and, go with it. All
Yeah,
right. We've
I
had,
didn't want it to change it later, and then it's like if I choose one, I have to stick with that. So we'll see.
yeah.
So
I guess the Gen X effect is in Shenandoah, Virginia,
yes, yes,
and
yes.
his weather is showers with in the vicinity with the temperature of 78 and the wind is blowing from the south at 2 miles per hour and 85% humidity. So he's a lot cooler there than I am. I'm at 94 here in South Georgia. So
Oh wow.
definitely a little bit warm. Before my granddaughter left, we went outside to pick the tomatoes. I am growing cherry tomatoes in 5-gallon buckets. And so we went out there to pick her some tomatoes to take home. And I got hot just in the few minutes I was out there on the patio getting her some tomatoes.
Wow. So you're 94 right now? Just oh, that's 34. You are even hotter than I am. That's our normal temperature, but right now it has been raining, so I'm I think in the like 28, so 82. So
Ooh.
it's
It usually rains here every afternoon. If you have something planned, like if you want to go swimming or you were going to go to the park or something like that, it'll have a downpour, but it doesn't usually last very long. And then it's so hot that everything dries, pretty fast.
yeah, yeah, it
So,
happens here too. But it's been raining so much. We have been flooding, like the city has been flooding a lot, and there's been a lot of losses in um like cars and houses and people, and like it's been where I'm at, it's safe, but the flooding in my city has been actually making the news every day. Trees falling, like it's been crazy. So
oh,
we have like the normal weather, which is hot and um, which I don't like very much, but it's super hot. It's not as hot right now because of that also. So
and we'll be starting hurricane season before long. And so then we have to contend with that. And I think it was like 160 something years since a tornado had hit where I live. And then in the last 2 years, we've had three tornadoes hit.
oh my god, that's
So
scary.
all those years that I've lived here, I've never worried about a tornado or not a tornado, a hurricane. Whenever they would say it was going to be a hurricane and people would be evacuating up from Florida. They always come into Georgia. Nobody ever really thinks about it being, Georgia being affected.
Hmm.
And we're really in the middle of the state, so we're pretty far from any water. So normally we might get a little rain and a little bit of wind, but never like, severe damage or anything. But the last 2 years we've got hit really bad and we were without power for like over a week. And so now it's like now that hurricane season's coming, I'm like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna happen again 3 times in a
I
row?
I hope it doesn't. I really hope you're safe and that
Yeah,
everything
me
goes
too.
smoothly, and I really hope that. Yeah.
Hello, DJ Nico. Welcome.
Nico, hi, nice to see you. It's been a long time since I've seen him. I think he's very well. He's told me that he was very busy with school and all. So
Yes, he's very busy with school and then he was sick a couple of times, but I think he's
mm,
feeling better. But he's just
I hope
really,
so.
him and Brian both, busy, busy with school. There's the source popping in.
Love you too,
Hello,
Jenny. We'll see
hello.
you in half an hour. Oh, the
Okay,
source is
baby
here.
boy. I love the source. He is crazy.
He's amazing. Your Highness, how are you? Nice to see you. He's super supportive. I really like him. I found you.
Oh,
I found him through you actually. I think we
yeah.
connected at some like you shared something about my channel, and then like I saw it, and or he came to my channel after that. He commented in the short. And then I went to his channel. I really enjoyed the vibe and all. And it's like I'm gonna subscribe.
Uh-huh.
And we've been
And
doing like we I did the 30-day challenge that he was promoting. I did it.
yeah.
I had a lot of fun, but he was very hard on us. No, he was not. He was super fun, but I called him the emperor because we were making fun of. He was the dictator and like the he was like so. Now I
Yeah.
call him His Highness.
Well, I don't even remember where I saw him, but I found him off of a short, and it might have been his first challenge that he did, like a 90-day challenge or
Mm,
something back in, I want to say back in around the holidays or the first of the year, maybe. Um, and I met him and I met Lisa from Married in Arkansas. Both of
Oh,
them I
yeah.
just saw on shorts, and I was like, oh, hi. So I have a habit of doing that. If I go somewhere and I see somebody that does something that's unusual or interesting or whatever like that, then I'll comment and try to get to know them or whatever. Hello, Stephanie, the WSFN channel, and that stands for Want Something for Nothing. And I just learned by watching her video the other day that she used to work for either FedEx, I think FedEx or UPS, one of those delivery services. And she
Hmm.
said the customers always wanted something for nothing. And that's how she came up with the name of her channel. So thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm not streaming to my channel. I just decided that we're gonna direct everyone here, and then when you go to my channel, you can stream here. I don't mind, but I'm saying like I thought like maybe we can just bring all the traffic here. Um,
Okay.
so
That's
yeah,
fine.
like the source
However,
is saying he's going over my channel, but we're not streaming there. So he'll see my shorts and my videos. Yeah, so we did the 30-day channel with Gen X. He's the one who convinced me. I'm super shy. Like I do my videos, I need to be super prepared. I well, not anymore. I think I'm more comfortable doing my thing without
yeah.
all this preparation. But I was like, I don't I I'm very shy. I don't want to do the shorts. And he said like let's people show people who you are and like how you are outside the formal setting that you have. It was super
Right.
fun, but it was super exhausting. But I really loved it. But yeah,
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people, you know, they want to see us as people, real people, and see our
yeah,
personalities and things like that. And I think you can get too used to it being set up and how you want it to be. And sometimes you need to do something spontaneous and just have fun. Hello, Berry Berry, welcome.
and
Um,
yeah, that's what's been challenging to me. I did struggle sometimes, but I've been doing a little bit more like impromptu things, or maybe just ask me anything shows, and I don't have a topic, just let's talk, and that's been helpful. And I'm doing with Gen X, we're doing the experiment, which is like
yes,
he's super
I've seen
different
a
from
couple of
me.
those. Yeah.
I just laugh. He just makes me laugh and laugh and laugh. And we talk about random things, and that shows a little bit more of how I am outside, like my normal, uh, like content. And we're actually separating the channel. We're creating a new channel for the experiment. But yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
good.
we have
Congratulations.
31 subscribers. Yeah, because
Oh,
people
wow.
enjoy it, and we have a lot of people in the chat. But we have it in like we're streaming to both channels, so people don't get to interact with each other. And I like there's sometimes the conversation is super fun, so it's like we want them to be like interacting with each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're doing another channel for that. So
Yeah. Well,
we'll
that's a
see
good
how it goes.
idea. That's one of the pieces of advice that you normally hear is that, either you should have a niche that your channel, your content is pretty much in a certain niche, or have a separate channel for different things that you do, and then that way you'll get the audience for those separate things. But you are right about that as far as them being in two separate chats. And I do that a lot with people where I'm letting they're streaming to their channel, but like I can see both people's chats in the restream, but they can only see who's in that chat on that channel.
Exactly.
And people will say, I don't see that person, or who is that?
Yeah, we
Where
got
are they?
people who got offended because of that. Like he blocked me. No, he didn't. We promise he didn't block you. He's just in another channel.
Yeah,
So we were getting into these situations, and we were like, no, I think we need to do that separately. Plus, his channel is more like he has a lot more. Like it's more open to things, and my channel is super niche. So like some of the people they don't want to see me laughing. They don't go for that. So like they they come for other type of content. So I just like we said no. We think we're gonna just separate the channels. I think in August we're gonna start streaming there. But yeah, and we want the interaction because they have a lot of things and people are super fun talking and tell jokes and interact. But we have to put every
put
comment
everything
there
together for them.
to see
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and that's a good idea because you can do other types of content on a channel like that that you might not want to put out on your individual channels. So that's a
Yeah.
good idea. Majestic Lion Eyes channel. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Much love from Norway. Oh wow, I didn't
Wow.
realize you were in Norway. My goodness. The
You
source
have
says
people from all
big
over the
move
world.
in the relationship. Well, I had a bad YouTube dating experience. So um, and at first, when we first broke up, I was worried about what he might say about me, or people that, were subscribed to both of our channels, or, because I didn't even I had about 350 subscribers when I met him. And a lot of my initial subscribers that got me to 1,000 were people I met through him and his channel. And so
Mm.
at first I was like, I don't want anybody to know. I'm not going to say anything. And then after a while, people were like, well, where is he? Because he's not around. You're not mentioning him. Something has happened, right? And so then I
Yeah,
was like,
people pick
well,
up quickly. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm kind of like, well, I'm going to tell, individual people that I feel need to know, I'll explain to them, but I'm never going to explain it, on the channel or whatever. And thank goodness he was gracious and he never said anything bad about me, and I'll never say anything bad about him. It just didn't work out for us. But sometimes you think, oh, this will be great. We'll do YouTube together and it'll be so wonderful. And then you have different ideas about what you want to do on your YouTube journey, and that doesn't come together the way that you wanted it to come together. But the first time I saw you and him together, I was like, okay, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I think I think they're seeing each other. I was just like, I don't know. I know that y'all knew each other, but I mean, I didn't know you all were a couple at first. And I was kind of like,
It's
I don't want to
yeah, it
ask
was
this question. I'll just keep watching. And then he said something one day or something, and I was like, I was right. Yes, indeed.
I
So,
think it's pretty obvious. It just happened. Like I was recently separated. He was also recently separated. We were like just we met to like we connected. We were having a lot of fun, and he's like he makes me laugh all the time. Like I'm always laughing,
yeah,
and it just started to like, evolve like naturally, and we didn't like it just happened.
yeah,
So we're trying to get together at some point, and like we'll see. But yeah, it's moving okay. I think we're happy and having fun and working towards a common like because he tells me like I'm not messing around like right now. Like I want to have someone to roll with, and I was looking for also someone who's in the same wavelength, and like so it just clicked, and then we got it together. Like we started the first time. I think he went to my channel. He shared the story of his life, and we were already like feeling something like, but we were not there yet, right?
right.
And then it just happened. So and yeah, it's a it's a big step. We'll see. And the channel, it's like we said, it's about the content. We have a lot of fun, and people like us together. I think there's good chemistry, and people laugh, and like people have a good time, and we're not like in drama or anything. So it's just us having
Right.
fun, and I think that's a lot of the things that we think that people need in like more laughter and less drama.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
so
mean,
yeah.
I agree. I think y'all definitely have chemistry together, and he seems like a really nice guy, and just y'all do have a lot of fun, and that's what's important. I mean, it's not good that you're there and he's there. I mean, that you'll have to work that out, but uh, you know,
And
if,
we're
if
working
there's
towards that. Yeah. So
if there's a relationship to be there, any obstacle can be overcome. So I wouldn't, worry about that too much. But um,
yeah,
Eugenia
we're
says we
enjoying the
connect
ride,
with
I'd
so
say.
many people.
And
That's right.
Yeah,
And
and it's something good.
you never know who or where you might meet that person that is perfect for you, you know. And I think if you close yourself off and say, no, I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do that, you just limit your chances.
Right now,
That,
we're working with the visa situation, his visa, my visa, and how to make it work. Because like right now with the current administration, I don't have a visa for US, so it's they're making things very difficult for Mexicans.
yeah,
So I'm struggling with that, and he has to make sure that he's able to come. So there's some things that we need to work out, but we're planning towards that. So it's not just like we'll see if we meet. It's that we he's planning to come see me, or I'm planning to go there. Like we're gonna
right.
meet like in the next couple of months, like in person.
Uh-huh.
But it's been great, right, so far. So we think it's everything's gonna go how we want to go. So we'll see.
Oh, I'm sure that it will. I'm sure it will. And at least that's the beauty of the internet, that y'all can see each other and talk to each other, and it's not just phone calls. You know, you get to
Yeah,
actually see the other
and we
person.
actually watch movies together and like have like I if I go to a coffee shop by myself, it's like, can you do you want to come with me? He's taking me shopping. I'm taking him shopping. Like it's just a camera. Like I made fun with him. Like I'm gonna put a face like a. Have you seen The Big Bang Theory?
Uh-huh.
Um, there's an episode where Sheldon is an iPad and has a body and he puts a t-shirt on. I told him like I'm gonna do that with you right now. Like I'm gonna put a you're gonna be walking around my house like that. So it's just like while we get to meet each other. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
So
that's great. I'm very happy for you. DJ Nico says, I'm stuck in Sweden, poor student. The beauty and the curse in one thing. Meet people, but they
I know
live
there's so
far
many
away.
people I just want to
That's
go
true.
see. Like I want to see like I have a one of my dearest friends is in UK. Another was in Australia. Like he's in Virginia. Like you see like all of these people Hawaii. Like Clint and I said we're gonna have to go to Hawaii and meet um Doron because it's like we really want to meet him and get together and do something. So yeah, we're
Yeah,
planning to that too. So yeah,
that
maybe the
is.
meeting point is in Hawaii.
I guess it is kind of, it's a good thing and then it can be a bad thing. But, ever since the big C, I think a lot of people have changed their opinion about things that we can do on the internet. Even
Hmm.
with me, before that, I never even ordered anything from a store online. I was the kind of person that if I wanted something, I would go out to the store and look for it. And the first time I ordered something online, it just felt so strange, to do that. But
Yeah,
now, I mean, if you don't want to leave your house, you really don't have to. I mean, you
yeah,
can
you don't.
pretty well get whatever you want sent right to your house, and you don't have to go anywhere if you don't want to. So,
I don't go out. I work from home. I do my shopping online. Like I go out to take my daughter when she has ballet that like class or something like that. And like those things I do, but normally I'm here working and on. So people say like, why are you in the computer so much or on YouTube? Well, because I have my work is remote, so I do remote working. So I'm already in the computer all day. So
right.
I have my YouTube here and I'm still working here. Like I have right now I have two computers, two displays here, have my iPad. So it's like I am all connected. So I don't have to go out at all mostly.
Right.
So but it's also like a risk because then you lose this social interaction. So sometimes it gets lonely. Like it's okay. I need to see people like real people in real life, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it has its pros and cons to live this
Yeah.
virtual life.
I guess I had, because I have my daughter and my granddaughter, and I have two good friends that I see in real life. But I'm not like, I don't really, I've never had like a big social circle. Always, to me at least, like they say, like you can't have two best friends. It's like if you're really best friends with somebody, then you can't really be best friends with somebody else. And
Hmm.
I've just never really, and I guess too, most women are kind of I don't know what word you would use, more competitive, or it's like they're not as supportive. Sometimes in group situations they can be more competitive than supportive, and so I just never really. And then, like, when I worked, I was a supervisor, and you have to be so careful with that, not to make friends with people you supervise or other supervisors of other departments, and all of that. Hello, Lakeside Laura, welcome.
Hi, Laura.
But I guess that's why I like like YouTube so well, is because you can meet people from anywhere. And most of the people that I've met that I've become friends with, if I can't actually physically meet them in person, then I at least talk to them off camera. Um,
Yeah, and it's a beautiful way to connect to people, and you get to meet all these different countries. And for me, it has been super, like a wonderful experience. I've met people from all over the world, all super
mhm.
nice, and yeah, I've met drama and things like that. But mostly, my experience has been very positive doing YouTube. So I'm like, it's very beautiful.
We got
Hey,
Elisa
Misha.
and Ned coming in. Welcome, welcome, ladies.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I love the experience, and I've met people, like I said, all over the world. So we're planning to meet in Canada or UK or Australia. Like, I need to go to see all these people. Like, I just want to see them and
I
meet them in
know.
person at least once. Like, yeah, it's something to look forward to. So I think it's a good
Yeah,
experience,
yeah.
and you get to learn all these points of view, different points of view, which is amazing. So
Well, and like with me, I've only ever lived in the United States. So, like, when I have friends that live in Canada, and to hear like their perspective of the United States, and things like that, it's just like, to me, it's just wild, because I've never had that uh, kind of exposure to anything in my real life.
well,
Let's
it
see.
happens to me a lot. Like they ask questions about Mexico, and like, do you really do this? Do you really do that? I'm like, no, we're a normal country. Like others, like we have cities, we have cars. Like it's not, we don't live in a like the desert. Like no, desert. Sorry for my pronunciation. And under a cactus and just with donkeys and horses everywhere. No, that's not how Mexico is. And I get that a lot. Like it's a question that I have like received several times. Like, is it true that you Mexicans, like, no? Or like the insecurity they say, like it's like you are going to lose your life if you come to Mexico. No, that's not true. Like, yeah, it's insecure. Like there's places where you shouldn't go, but in general, it's not that
But
bad.
that's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's all over.
So
Moon over Miami. The thing with the videos, this was something we talked about the other day. Somebody said that it like split the screen, and they could still see the live, but they also could see the ad. So I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, or just that the ads are having problems. I've been having trouble with my computer the past couple of days with sound issues and things that I didn't think I got deleted that now I see have been deleted. So I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. Well, DJ Nico says, "Oh, not an Adobe hut, donkey to ride, and three chickens on the porch." Now you could be
no.
talking about South Georgia, talking about donkeys and chickens. Um, and it's kind of like, if you were raised in one part of the country, what is your normal is what you think everybody's normal is. And then when you find out people from different countries and different, I mean, even just different climates makes your life different.
Yeah.
Like, I could not live in Alaska where it's basically cold all the time. I would get depressed. I get depressed in the winter months. I don't like winter that much.
Yeah, I was living in France for a year and a half, and it was raining all the time. It was in the where all the castles are, La Loire, and it's raining all the time. It was super depressing. Like it was good for a couple like weeks. I'm like, oh, the rain is nice, I was like, when is the sun coming out? Like, I need sun, and I come from a sunny place, so it's like
Yeah.
super depressing. And when the sun started to come out, like near the spring and summer, it was like, okay, now people started smiling in the street and all of that. Like, it changes your mood. Like, weather actually changes the mood. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it definitely can affect your mood and
yeah,
just and that's one reason I moved from the north down south because as a kid being able to play in the snow in the winter months, that was all kinds of fun as a kid. But when I was an adult and had to go to work and had to worry about digging my car out and whether or not the snowplow had come down the road yet and things like that, I said, this is no way to live. I don't want to live like that. And we
yeah,
moved here to the south but I didn't even think about how hot it was going to be here. So it's like switch one problem for another problem. So
yeah. I do would like to live in a place where I actually see the change of seasons, because here we don't have autumn, for example. I think of all the seasons, my favorite one that I've seen in pictures and all is autumn. I love
mhm.
the colors, the like that's a very like oranges and browns and all of those. I really like that. And we don't have that here. Like, we just go from hot to very cold, but there's no like all these like. So I would love to live or experience that at some point. Like, I've seen snow twice in my life, and that's all. And so
Well,
I would love to have that at some point.
here in South Georgia, we have about 6 or 7 months of hot summer, and then we have
Mhm.
just like not even 2 months of autumn, then maybe 2 months of winter, and then as soon as it's no longer cold, you're like in such relief of it not being cold and it's not hot yet, and then that spring just evaporates like that. It's like somebody turned the temperature up and all of a sudden now you're hot again, and then you stay hot for such a long season.
Oh, I
And I
understand.
miss that too. I miss seeing the leaves change and everything dying off in the winter, and then in the spring you see things, growing again. Here it's like sometimes stuff doesn't even get a chance to die off because it is so nice out, all the time. Oh, I saw her.
Perfect.
It's so hard for them.
No, it's
Oh,
no. She just wanted to come pick up the iPad, but she's like, yeah, cuidado, no se rompió. Okay.
and
Yeah,
my
she's
granddaughter
just
does not understand. I was watching something earlier and she was like, well, move it like that. Like, she wanted to scroll. And I'm like, no, I'm listening to what the person's talking about. It's like, I can't be scrolling it right now.
yeah.
And she doesn't get
It's fun.
it.
Yeah, and like she really enjoys it. She wants to be a YouTuber, but I told her like I don't like her to be on the internet. So I just try to not expose her much to
Mhm.
this. But whenever like she's on vacation right now, so she's like
Yeah.
she wants to show her face and she's curious about it. So I'm like, okay, fine. But it's just brief moments. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
she gets
Well,
bored.
see,
Yeah,
my grandbaby was an infant when I started, and I would do a lot of things when she was napping, and babies sleep
yeah,
a lot, so it really didn't bother it. But then as she started toddling around and walking around and stuff, and I was like, okay, I can't do that anymore as much, So then I ended up going to where I pretty much would only go live at lunchtime when I tried to get her to take a nap. And she used to take a couple hour nap. Now I'm lucky if she'll lay down for 30 minutes. And it's like, I'm done sleeping. It's like, no. I need you to go back in there for just a little bit longer.
I know. Well, I that's why I do my lives in the morning, like morning, like lunchtime, because she's at school, so I
Yeah,
don't have to leave her there watching videos or anything because I don't want that.
right.
So I just um, I'm sorry. They were told that her brother's here. Just give me one moment.
Okay. Are we talking about recipes? spaghetti with chorizo and fried onions. Oh, that does sound good.
Um, so yeah, I normally I do that, but now they're on vacation and they don't bother me all day. Like they play together, but I decided to go live right now, and they decided that it's a good time for them to ask. My son is for almost 15, but he decided he wanted to come and ask a question. Okay, but
Well,
it's
needless
mom's
to
life, so
Well, the universal truth is we spend 2 years with teaching the kids to talk and walk, and the rest of our lives to get them to sit down and shut up. Exactly.
that's true.
And people told me don't be in a rush for her to start walking. And I really wasn't in a rush for her to start walking, but my daughter like did this backward scooting kind of crawling thing. She never really got
Mhm.
up on all fours. And so when my granddaughter actually got up on all fours and started crawling, I was like, oh, good, she's going to be able to crawl. And she didn't crawl but for a couple weeks. And then she was pulling herself up. And next thing you know, she's walking. So, yeah,
Well,
that's
at
true.
least you had the crawling part. But when they start moving like around, even if it's scrolling or what, you have to start paying attention to everything. I remember my kids, they would find like things that, where did you find that? Like I swipe the floor, I clean my house. Like,
Uh
where did
huh.
you find this little thing that was like, I was putting myself floor level to see if I could find something so she didn't put it in her mouth. I didn't
Right.
see anything. And then she found something. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how do you do this?
Uh huh.
But yeah.
Oh, they can move in a second. They
Yeah.
can be one place and then, and you're like, oh no.
She
Like,
freaked me out
let's
once
do that.
because she was started crawling, and I was just in the. I think I went to pick something. She was in the living room, and the stairs are there, but normally she didn't even was close to the stairs. When I looked, like it was, I swear, 2 seconds. She was already trying to crawl the stairs, like no, because I was freaking out. Oh my god, no! I'm like I covered the stairs. I didn't want her to go near that. It was yeah, it was scary, but it's. But now she's 5, so she's getting better. She's starting like grade 3 of kindergarten or something.
Oh,
And my son started senior high, and so I'm almost out of the phase of like all the little kid stuff. Uh,
yeah, that's how my
she's
daughter is now because everybody kept saying, are you going to have another baby? And I kept telling her, if you're going to have another one, have it before this one gets too old, because once you don't have to deal with bottles and diapers and all that kind of stuff, then it's so hard to go back. And now she's like, my granddaughter will be 4 the first part of August, and she can dress herself, she can feed herself, she can get in and out of the car, and just all the things that you have to do with the smaller, kids. My daughter's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to have any more. I'm like, there is nothing wrong with only having one. I mean, I think a
that's
lot of
what I thought.
people.
That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, I'm not gonna have any other babies and all of that. But then I forgot how hard it is to have a baby. Like, it's just you forget about it, and then you said, okay, I'm gonna have another one, and then they come. And I'm like, oh my god! And then it's for me, it was 10 years later. So it was like
Oh,
it's not the same
wow.
having a kid at 28 than having a kid at 38. So I'm like
Yeah.
almost 40, and I'm like not the same energy that I had at 28. Like I have a job to do, and it was exhausting. Like if they ask me right now, do you want to have another one? No, thank you. I'm done. Like the
Yeah.
factory has been closed now. I don't want any other
Well,
babies.
I
I have a
mean,
friend. Yeah, go ahead.
I've always envied people who had a lot of kids, like that had good pregnancies and easy deliveries, and, adding another one was nothing, just keep having them. It took 10 years to get pregnant with my daughter. And then I struggled raising her, as a toddler and all that,
Mhm.
and it was like, after 5 years of trying for the second one, I ended up having to have a hysterectomy. And it was like, you know what? God knows what he's doing because, this was tough. And I see these people that have, 5, 6, 7 kids, and they just act like, oh, it's just another one. You just add them in. Like, oh,
That's my sister. My sister had three kids, like in a row almost.
mm-hmm.
Like I, and there are three boys, and they're super cute, but they are crazy. So, uh, so I don't know how she does that. Like yeah. And I have a friend who just got pregnant. She's my age. She's almost 43, or she just turned 43 like a couple months ago. Like I don't know how she's gonna pull that off. Like I'm at my age, a little like small baby. Like I don't know. I don't think we're no. I don't want that anymore. Yeah, me, I'm done. I already have. Plus, the teenage years are being proving to be very difficult for me and my son. So,
We have Flick Fox
Flick
and
Fox,
then
yeah,
Indigo Twin and
Indigo
Rudy
Twin.
have joined us. And William at Brooklyn and says my Nightbot hates them. No, my Nightbot just doesn't like a lot of emojis. So if you put a lot of emojis, it's going to get you.
Wow, 8 kids and the wife is pregnant. I don't know how the people pull that off. Like 8 kids? My God.
I just don't, I
Wow.
don't know. Especially in today's economy, I don't know how they, can even afford it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know either.
I mean,
Because
I
it's like
worked
a yeah,
I worked full time and my husband worked full time, and there were still times even just having to clothe one child and get everything they need for school and all of that. It was a struggle. So I'm not sure how
yeah,
people do it.
me neither.
But I love
Um,
kids. So
oh,
I mean,
me too.
you know, if you didn't have to raise them, that's why my
And that's
daughter said I
another
love
thing. I
being
think
being the grandmother because I can have her and then I can say, okay, go back to mommy and
bye.
daddy
That's what I
now.
was gonna say. Like it's different when you have a grandkid because you don't have to raise them. Like it's just you get to spoil them. You get to be like the cool person there, and like mom sets the rules. Like of course you're gonna help with the discipline and everything, but it's not the same. And
No,
then you're like, okay, you go home, and I get to do my thing, but your son is like they have to be there with you. So,
right.
but I
Well,
love
and
like I love my kids. Not don't get me wrong, I love them, but yeah, it's difficult.
yeah, but it can still be hard. Even no
Yeah.
matter how much you love them, it can still be hard. But that's one thing with my daughter that I made up my mind. When I first agreed to watch the baby for her, that she was going to be the boss, and whatever she said, I was going to do because I didn't want to confuse my granddaughter by Granny doing it one way and Mama doing it another way.
That's
And I
awesome.
also didn't want her to be using me against my daughter or my daughter against me, that kind of thing. I wanted us to be like, no, we're a united front here, whatever, goes for both of us. And we've done really good with that. But there are times that my granddaughter will get in trouble and she'll say, that she wants me. And I'm like, okay, but you're still in trouble. You got in trouble from mama. So that doesn't, change.
It's not gonna
And
change.
yeah, she's had to realize that yes, Granny will comfort you, but if you were wrong and you got in trouble, then you're still wrong and you're still in trouble. But she minds for me so good because all I have to say is, "Do you want me to tell mommy you were bad?" No, no. She knows
Oh,
mommy will get her, so she's like, mm-mm, no, don't tell my
I'd rather
mama.
not.
But I loved being a mom, but I also was a working mom, and I didn't like that. I always felt distracted. I never felt like I could just be in the moment with my daughter. It was always, 50 million other things going on. So that's one thing with my granddaughter that I try to let it bring me to that moment and only think about, what we're doing at that moment. And that has helped me a lot by kind of just being more in the moment than worrying about the past or thinking about what's going to happen next and,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
that's
I do want
amazing.
to talk to you a little bit about the crystals because I don't really understand. Um, like, can anybody use crystals, or is there like rules to using them?
So crystals are. tools that we use and are from the earth and they come from the earth. And there are tools that help us enhance the energies and things that we work with. So if you have an intention, what they do is like they act like a Wi-Fi amplifier. So if you have an intention and you are using a crystal in, like in a ritual or you're in a prayer or something, they're gonna enhance that intention and put it out in the universe. They also have properties that help you absorb energies or protect you from energies and things like that. So depending on the type of crystals you're using, they have different purposes. But everyone is able to use it. If you go to a shop and you buy it, you're going to be able to use it. Depending on what you want, it's a crystal you have to get. But
Hi,
yeah.
Weekend with me. Um, I went to St. Augustine a couple years ago, and they had this really neat store that had all kinds of different stuff in it. But one of the things they had were these bracelets that, like were for different things. And I
Mhm.
assumed that they were made out of crystals, but I didn't know like what to know what kind I would want or whatever. So I've always wondered about that, because I've heard other people say about the crystals. And why do you put them on the windowsill? Why do people talk
So
about doing that?
that depends on the crystal that you're using, because some crystals are used to clear negativity, some crystals are used to protect you from bad energies, some crystals are used to enhance peace, like calm, confidence, love. So depending on the type of crystal, it has different vibrations because we are all vibrations. So crystals speak on those vibrations and they work with them, and they are like useful to support you in healing or emotional, physical, spiritual levels. So depending on what you want, it's the purpose that you give. So if you're setting a crystal in the window, let's say you're gonna put selenite there, what is gonna happen? It's gonna clear the energy. So it's gonna be clearing. If it's a black tourmaline, then it's gonna protect you from something bad entering the house. If it's amethyst, it's gonna bring peace to your house, right? Like it's calmness. If you put amethyst in your side table, it's gonna help you with calmness and like better sleep, things like that. If you use rose quartz, it's gonna make you like be more soft in your relationships, whether it's a loving relationship with your family or so. Depending on the crystal, you can set them up, and you can also set them on grids. So you set them up in shapes with specific intentions. So they like that intention helps you like enhance the energy.
Oh, okay, okay. So the putting them on the windowsill, like letting the sun hit the crystal, doesn't really. I mean, I guess it does absorb the energy from the sunlight then too, but yeah.
So yeah, it absorbs, and for example, some people clean them and charge them. So what I do, like as a weekend, what we do is we are we clean them from the energy, or we charge them with the energy. So for example, if there's a crystal that you use a lot and you put in the window, you have like certain cycles. You have to clean them, put in the moon, the earth, the sun, so it charges with clean energy, let's say.
Okay.
Or for example, if you purchase a crystal from the internet and you get like it arrives to your home, then you have to do some things to clean them, so they like you clean them from the energies for the people who were moving them around. And Lexa Laura is saying a lot of interesting things about crystals, which are true. Like crystals were used in many religions hundreds and thousands of years. So they are not something new. Because that's another thing. That's another myth. Like people say that it's something newer or new agey or like but no, they have been used in a lot of
Right.
cultures like for a long time, and they have like really proved like properties. And like she says, like quartz crystals are used in computers and electronics. So yes, there's um, they set the pace. For example, when you're working with electronics, you set a small thingy that it's a crystal, and it just helps you like it oscillates the energy like that's moving through the circuit. So it's like everything's a vibration. So there's specific things, and each vibration has like or color has different properties. So it's very interesting
Yeah, it is
working with
very
crystals.
interesting. Married in Arkansas, hello. She said crystals are like frequencies. And that does make, see, I guess I didn't put it together about it being to deal with energy, you know, that it's,
The thing is, we all vibrate a certain frequency. Like we are all vibrations. We have energy. It's energy in
yeah,
us.
yeah,
So like the way that they are like composed in as a stone uh, has properties that helps you um, like work with these frequencies and balance them in the way that you need them to be balanced, so you can work with different energies. I think that's a like to put it in very simple words. It's a little bit more complex than that, but it's
yeah,
they help with that because they're different materials. So and the color also has vibrations. So the different colors resonate in different like it has different wavelengths. So that's why. So for example, if you want protection, you can use um, tiger's eye. You can use black tourmaline, or you can use like other type of stones. Like I said, if you want peace, well, that's amethyst or things like that. So it's depending on what you want. It's the purpose. I like my go-tos are like the very basics that you can actually find in any stores because there's a lot of crystals that have specific purposes. But for example, if you are working with chakras, like what a chakra is, right? Like
mhm,
the centers of energy. So if you want to work with, I don't know, the crown chakra, then okay, I'm going to use clear quartz or gold or like different types of crystals. If I'm working with my solar plexus chakra, I'm going to be working with a different type of crystals. So you can actually balance them. So depending on what you're working on, it's the type of
right,
crystals that you use. Yeah.
right. Yeah, it was all very interesting, but I was like confused as far as, like I wanted to buy something, but I didn't know, really what to pick,
For example, me, I work with energies. So I do cleansings, I work with angels, I read tarot. Like there's a lot of things that I work with energies. So I need to be very grounded and protected because of that. Because like you're opening channels, like it's not something evil or anything. It's just energies, and energies can be different types of energies. So what
Right.
I do in order to protect my own energy field, I use black tourmaline, and I always wear these. Like it's just something that it's like something that I wear, and I have my abalone shell that I like. It's already tainted. I need to change it, but it's absorbing things that works with water. So it's not a crystal. It's a shell from the sea who has like watery energies. So that helps me absorb some of the grief that I was going through because of some situations at home. So depending on um, like I use this to be more grounded and let the energy flow through me when I'm working with it without having to absorb it. They take the heat from for me. So
Yeah. So now when you say working with angels, talk a little bit about that.
okay, so angels, like we are depending on the on your beliefs, there's God, right? Like it has different types of
Yeah.
beliefs. I'm not talking about any specific religion. It's more about like the universe, the spirit, God, however you want to call it. It's this amazing divinity that it's the creator of all, and we are part of that divinity, right?
Hmm.
And angels, like the divinity, has a lot of, let's say it's like the sun. When you look at it directly, you're not able to access it because it's going to be very, it's so bright that it's going to blind you.
Yeah.
So angels are divine energies that you work with that help you access that divinity, but they have different, like the rainbow. They like they have different tasks for different purposes, and they are very beautiful energies, like high vibrational energies that you can work with. So they are here to connect us with that divinity and remind us that we also have a divine spark inside us that we can work with and we can be good and all of that. So that's the way we work with that. So whenever, for example, someone's sick, I if I do, I can work with Rafael, which is one of the archangels, and I can work with him. Okay, let's talk about healing his physical body, his emotional body, his spiritual body. So all of these things, I can, his mind. So that's healing. If I want to um, maybe soften a relationship with my son, I may call Gabriel and Chamuel, who are working with communication and love, so I can work with both, and they can help me open channels of communication in a loving way so I can actually reach with that. So depending on the intentions, I can work with them. And they are very beautiful energies that you can work with. If I want protection, justice, truth, I can work with Michael. So depending on that, there's seven main archangels. There's another one with Metatron, which is very high energy, and then we have like all the they have their own like subsets of angels. Like they have their sales representatives on each like they have this the smaller ones, and you have your guardian angel, and you have like angels for everything. So you can work and connect with this energy, so you can connect with that divinity in a way. So and they are like messengers from God, if you want to say. I don't know how to express it in English. It's a complicated concept,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, it's, so I work with them, and I like I was working with like elemental magic, elemental things, but with them, the energy is so beautiful that I really just since I met them, they changed my life. So I work with them mostly daily.
Hello, soul. Welcome. I'm not doing a good job of watching this chat. I apologize, everybody. Hi, Dragon Flame. Um, so it's kind of like what I would have learned in church about angels. Let's see, how do I put it? Like when somebody passes away, do they automatically can become an angel, or are there just God just has so many, like you said, the seven different archangels?
No, there's a path that a soul has to go through in order to become an angel, and I think that's one of the last ones, as as per my beliefs. Like I said, I'm not that um I just know what I know right now. Like it's not my human body doesn't let me get that. But no, there's like angels that are in certain purposes, and they're messengers from God, and like they are. Um, so yeah, it's more of a, how do I put it? Like that's you have to go through a serious path of things. Like your soul evolves through lives and lifetimes. So we are every time we come to Earth, we choose a different path and a different like soul like lesson that I want to learn. So it's some of the things like you graduate if you believe in this. Like that's my belief.
Mhm.
But I respect that people sometimes don't
Yeah.
believe these things. But for me, it's the way it works. So it's like I think one of the last things. But there are certain angels, like seven ones that are the main archangels. But depending also if you're like talking about the Kabbalah, for example, there's 33 angels. So it's like archangels. So it depends on what type of path you're following. That it has different ways of expressing how angels work.
Rudy, quit being annoying, please. You're okay. It's all right that you're here, but just don't annoy other people, okay? Okay, DJ Nico says you have to evolve and make the journey to complete the learning journey. Okay. So yeah, I guess I just don't I don't cuz like my dad's passed away, and I always think of him as being like a guardian angel for me now that he's passed away, you know.
So the souls go like from what I've learned throughout all these things is they live in a different plane. That doesn't mean they don't have access to us,
Mhm.
and they do have contact with this because they are in a different plane. They are evolved now in an energetic level, so they are in a different stage. So let's say like that they are in touch with the CEO for so to speak. So they come, for example, in like if you have a need, they're gonna be able to help you with them for you. So it's not that specifically they are an entity, an angel, but they do have access to the energies and they do have access to help you. So in a way, they they act as a guardian angel because for the love for you, they
Right.
protect you for that, right? So
Right.
it's a little bit different way of putting it, but it's they actually have access to all of these.
Okay. You did drop the link, or you have a link you can drop. Let's see. Cuz I would like to look at it, DJ. He said I plugged for Jimena's beginner's guide on
Oh, and
crystals. If someone needs link up in the chat. Okay, let me see.
I have a little booklet of 36 pages or something with crystals for beginners.
There it
So
is.
what's
I
a
see what.
crystal, types of
Okay.
crystals, how to clean a crystal, some crystal grids that you can actually use with sacred geometry and things like that. So if
Okay.
someone's interested, yeah. Nico um, helped me um, he actually bought it from me. So,
Yes. Okay, good. Yes, thank you, Nico. I'll click on it before I do away with the stream because I've tried that before and then the stream's gone and then you can't go back and find things. So I'll get that before. Um, let's see. Does anybody in the chat have any questions about any of this that we've been talking about or anything else that you would like to ask Miss Jimena?
I'm sorry, did you repeat the last thing? It just broke.
Huh?
I didn't hear the last thing. My sound just broke.
Oh,
I don't know
no,
if
I
it was
just said
me
if
or you.
anybody had any questions
Oh,
for you to put it in the chat. Um, Rudy's being crazy.
oh, he's always like that with me. He's been very disrespectful with me before in other towns. So I know I don't
I had to
engage.
block him on on another channel when I was a guest on that channel because he wouldn't stop. Usually, when I tell him to stop, he usually does, but he may not be paying attention to that right now. Nico said he misses your lives, but he's been so busy with school. That's okay. You got to get your education. When you get done with that, then you'll have time you can see her
Yeah,
live.
you can catch replay. Laura, that's awesome. The crystal things. I'm also wanted to certify myself with that, but right now I'm completely focused on I'm becoming an angel therapist. Like I don't know how to translate the name, but it's a person who works with angels to help people heal, whether it's physically, spiritually, and all of that. Like it helps you like heal your spirit. So I'm working with like getting a certification. It's gonna be take me several months. I've already studied a lot, but I want to be working like focusing on that because I love working with them, and I have a lot of things that I want to learn. Crystals is one of my passions. I love crystals. Healing with crystals is amazing. Laura, you and I need to talk sometime. I think she's amazing. I really like her.
Yes, education is very important. You're
But
right.
yeah, and he's doing well on his grades. Last time I checked, he told me he was getting a lot of good grades. So I'm super proud of Nico for doing that, and I know it was something that he really wanted to do. So I congratulate him because he's doing what he needs to be doing.
Yes, and I think that's very important. If there's something in your life that you didn't get a chance to do when you were younger, and you
Exactly.
find yourself in a situation where you can take advantage of it, then you definitely should do that. Oh, okay. He said he might put a booklet together of some of his poems and put it on his
Well,
wall store.
when
That's
you
a
do
good
that, let
idea.
us know, and we'll just go and purchase it.
Okay, Lisa from Married in Arkansas wants to know, do you communicate with the spirit world?
Yeah. Like, do you think as a medium? Well, I'm actually working on developing the skill. I'm not as skilled as that. I feel things. I don't communicate with them as a medium right now. But I'm learning how to develop that skill because we all have it. It's just a matter of remembering it.
I
Gen
was
X is
going
back.
to say a
I
lot of
love it.
people sense things or even maybe get like a premonition or a vision of something, but they don't want to interact with it, you know. And then there's other people that it just bombards them that they don't have a choice, you know, they pretty well have to.
So it happens to me. I feel a lot of things. I like whenever I go to a place, I feel the energy. If I meet someone, like right away, I'm starting to sense things. Like I I've had feelings like I need to get out of here because I'm in danger, things like that, or please don't go there because something's going. Like I know, like things like this, it's happened to me. I just want to develop it more, but I think we all like we all have it. And me, it was I took a while to get here. It has been calling me. So it's something that like angels have been showing me signs since I was a little girl, and
Mhm.
like all these path. And I was just in denial because I was raised a Catholic, and it's like it's a sin, it's not a good thing, and it's evil. And then you start learning about it, and you see that it's more like misinformation about what we do in actual like, in the energy work. That it's not actually evil; it's just working with energies in a different way. I do believe that God or the universe or spirit, whatever you want to say, talks to us in different languages because we're different people, we're different cultures, and the way to reach to each one of us is from a different type of path. Um, but I think 5 years, 6 years ago, I just something happened to me, and like I want to do this. This is what I like. Really like it. I started to read. I started to learn. And it's like this is not evil. This is why is it evil? I'm helping people. Like people are feeling better, and I started to get a lot of peace myself. Like it healed me. I think that's the important thing. It healed me, so I could help others. So I I think it's amazing. I just want to follow that, and it's just follow the calling that you get. Like if people are like if you feel something, and you have a calling for anything, whether it's religion, whether it's like a spiritual path like mine, or it's something different, just follow it as long as you don't harm others and you respect others and you're loving to others. Like do whatever makes you happy, and I think that's and yeah. But I would love to talk to my grandpa sometimes, so that's why I want to learn a little bit of mediumship and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes people think because I mean, and I've talked about my dad before, sometimes I definitely, feel his presence around me or, something will happen and I'll be like, oh, my dad was there, or whatever. And sometimes people, they want to look at you and act like you're a little bit crazy, but really I think it's just that they don't understand. They haven't had the personal experience with something like that. And so they don't necessarily understand it. And I think that's even just in religion, we learn usually as children what our parents take us to church and we learn whatever they want us to learn, and there are so many things that you can study and learn and interpret and learn for yourself that a lot of people never do that. They just stop
Yeah.
at what well, this is what I
Hmm.
believe because this is what my parents believed or this is what my church believed. And yet there could be other things that you would believe and understand as well if you did any kind of looking at it or whatever. I know
Hmm.
everybody has had Jehovah Witness come to visit them at their home, and most people don't want to talk to them because they don't really know what it is that they believe. And
Hmm.
so I've been having a lady come to visit me, and I told her, I'm not Jehovah Witness, and some of the things that she told me that they believe that I don't necessarily believe, it doesn't mean that she's right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and she's wrong. It's just that we believe different things. But
Hmm.
I'm open minded enough, that I'll talk to her about it because I'm interested to see, maybe there is something that I am not aware of or whatever.
Or you
But
can
I
learn
think
from
that,
them also.
yeah, and I think that's how it is with a lot of different things. People, they either like make a quick decision and say, "Oh, well, it must be evil," or that's not from God, so I'm not gonna, look at that, or whatever like that. So I don't think
Yeah.
people aren't open minded enough and don't give it a true look at things.
And that's the thing, we just tend to believe the first thing that we were taught to, and we don't open our minds that okay, maybe there's different approaches that we can actually look at. And people get scared of what they don't know. So when you don't know something and you don't understand it, it normally scares you. But once you get to understand and you learn, like maybe you may not believe in that, but it has some like fundamentals that are like make sense. Okay, it
Hmm.
makes sense for them. It's fine. Like I learned something. So I like to study like religions and how they feel, how they think about all these things because it's interesting for me the others' points of view. Because if you don't get to know other people, that's why there's a lot of disrespect and people are not tolerant to other people because you don't know what they're talking about. And it's so easy to just sit down and say, okay, you're not as different as like I thought that we're more
Right.
similar than
Right.
we thought. So I think we need to be a little bit more open minded. That's why I like the path that I'm following because like I respect every religion. It's just like as long as you don't harm me or others, believe
Right.
whatever you want to believe. And I
Right.
don't harm others with what I believe. Like I'm trying to be as honest as possible. I'm trying to be as open as possible and respectful as possible. If I respect if you want to disconnect from me, fine. If you want to be part of my life, fine. Like it's your free will. I'm gonna respect it. I'm not gonna force anything. I'm not gonna chase anything. So I think that's helped me be more at peace. And also I've been more connected with the spiritual world in terms of my grandpa was the most important person in my life and I get visits from him. So going back to the topic of your father that you were saying that you feel his presence,
Hmm.
I get a hummingbird that comes here. It's a blue hummingbird, and whenever I'm sad, I'm super like going through something, he just comes, flies around my head, and goes. And then immediately after, whether I see something that reminds me of my grandpa, or there's a Frank Sinatra song playing in the background, or there's something that it's like I know is him, that is making me like know that he's there,
Right.
and then I feel supported. So like I said, they are like the like me. They help us the with spirit and all of that in that world, that other dimension that they're in. So I do believe there's things
Yeah.
beyond our
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we don't have to understand everything. I mean, there's things that'll happen, and you might understand a little bit about it, but to me, if it brings you comfort and you feel like that is coming from your grandpa, or like for me coming from my dad, if it brings you comfort, then how can that be bad? you know
Exactly.
so
And there's other type of energies. There's like bad energies, of course there is, but that's why we work on elevating our vibration so you don't attract them or you can protect yourself from them and you're not doing anything bad. Like I think you attract them when your vibration is low, when you're doing evil things. So that's when you're gonna attract people. But that happens in every religion. Like in every like you don't have to be a religious person to do bad things. Like
yes,
it's
yes.
not that Catholics don't do any bad thing or Christians or Jehovah Witnesses or people like me, right? There's evil people everywhere. So it depends on how you're vibrating, the type of things and things that you deal with. So I believe in karma. And I like karma is everything you throw out to the universe is gonna come back to you. Whether it's good or bad, it's not a revenge thing. It's just everything you put out there is gonna come back to you. And I believe in the threefold law that it's if I give love, I'm gonna receive three times love. If I give hate, I'm gonna receive three times back, right? Hate. So that's how I rule my life. So that's I'm not going after people to cause harm because I don't want that in my life. I'm not
Right.
gonna spread gossip. I'm not gonna spread lies. Why? Because I don't want that in my life. I don't want being lied to. I don't want to be betrayed. I don't want to be like so I'm not doing that. So it's just I'm gonna just give what I want to receive in my life. And that's the way that I work. And I think that's finally the stage that I want to be in. That I don't want anything negative in my life. So I'm disconnecting from a lot of people that are like, you don't bring me joy, you don't bring me peace, you're just bringing conflict. I don't want that. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna set my boundary, and I'm gonna because I want peace. That's I've been dealing 42 years with horrible situations. I don't need another 42 years with all horrible situations.
No, and I understand exactly what you're saying. There comes a point in your life where, like, you're the only person you've got. You've got to take care of yourself, and if you have to put those boundaries up around you, to be able to live your best, frame of mind, even, you have to do that. And in my experience, most people, once you stop letting them treat you a certain way,
Hmm.
then they don't want to be around you anyway, you know,
Yeah,
because they were getting something from you by treating you in a negative way, and you weren't getting anything out of it. You were just getting the pain or, the negativity. And once
yeah.
you say, okay, no, nobody has the right to give me that kind of feeling or whatever, then oh boy, you're just this terrible person, because now you're not going to let somebody take advantage or treat you, badly. But you're right. You have to make sure you're treating people right, because it does come back,
It
to
does.
affect you and your own life.
But also that it has taught me who my real people are, like the real people that deserve to be in my life, because the other people, they just remove themselves without me saying anything. So it's like I started to learn that, yeah, maybe it's a lonelier life without all of these people around me and all of these things, but I've learned that the people who are staying are people who love me, who care for me, who want the best of me. Like they want me to succeed, to be better, to feel better, to be healthier, to be, so they are actually encouraging me to be the best me, right? Whereas the people who are not doing that, it's like they are not even in my life anymore, because of, like, I didn't have to chase. Okay, the relationship was one sided because it was me following you around, or it was me trying to set boundaries or trying to explain, hey, I need you to be there. I need you to be cool with me. I didn't do anything. I'm apologizing. I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. What I'm going to apologize? Like, you. So, you see, like, these are the lessons that I've come to learn in this past journey. So I just give love. If you want my love, fine. If you don't want it, well, that there's nothing I can do. So I'm a little bit more stoic in that regard. Not all the time, but yeah.
But I think too, when you think that these people love and care about you and are good in your life, and then you decide that they're not, it can be very lonely, in a sense. But then again, too, when you have when you find out who your real people are, the people who actually do care about you as a person, then it's so much better that it's like, why did I waste all that time on these other people that really didn't do anything, for you? And I think too, I had to learn that you can be the world's best friend, and if somebody is not being your friend back, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good a friend you are. If you're not getting that friendship in return, then you're just wasting your time, really.
But it's not on you, because you gave your best. So that
Yeah,
karma is good karma for you, because it's just you gave
right,
love. It wasn't
right.
received. Well, that's not on you. So
Yeah.
it's, I think that's that realization that I've been coming on, like, the last couple of months and years, like this last year especially. It's
Hmm.
like, okay, I gave you love. I was there. Maybe I was not as present as I should have, but I gave you love, and I was not never mean. I was never mistreating you. I was always your friend. If you decided that, okay, you don't want me in your life, it's fine. Then I'm gonna just move on, because you're not um, valuing my friendship as much as I valued yours. So that's the thing. And I get that some people distance themselves and things like that, but it's more like, um, how do I put it? Um, you did your best. It's like when you're in a drama situation and, like, you were helping people and you were doing these things, and then they don't take it as it is, and then you feel bad because you were giving and you said, oh, I'm so dumb. No, you weren't dumb. You were doing it with the best heart that you could do it. So if it was not accepted, that's not on you, that's on them, that's
Yeah,
their
right,
karma.
right.
They have to deal with that. And I think that's why I like karma and all these things, because, and that's why I rule my life with that. What I what I'm putting out there is what I want to receive, and I've been receiving um, very good people in my life and very loving people and caring people. I'm like, okay, finally it's coming back to me, and maybe the evil people are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is great. I'm glad that you've, been able to heal some of those things, and get a good perspective on, the future, what life, has got for you in store. That's one thing, I try not to live in the future, but I do think you need to have dreams and goals and things to look forward to, and dreams. And um, I think that's why people get old. They quit playing, they quit dreaming, you know, they stop doing what makes them happy, or they feel like they can't do those things anymore because they're older or whatever. And then, and I want to do a study on this. I think more people that continue to work past retirement age are healthier and live longer than people who take the early retirement age.
I think they
Because,
do.
like, for me, I do better when I have a schedule to keep, when I have certain responsibilities and certain things to do. If I have like nothing but free time and I have nowhere I have to be at a certain time, I can get so lazy and just be like, procrastinating and put it off till tomorrow. But if I have that schedule and certain things I have to do at certain times, then it keeps me more motivated and more moving forward. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. They feel like I'm going to work all these years, and then finally I'm going to have nothing I have to do. And then when they
Yeah.
realize they have nothing to do, then that's when they stop moving, and that's when they get old and sick, you know?
I think they lose their sense of purpose. Like purpose? How do you pronounce it? I don't. I'm
Purpose.
sorry. It's not. Yeah, purpose.
Yeah.
So I think you lose that. I think it's okay to look forward to the future, and like it's like even if you like you can make a plan. It's not always end up in the way that you want it to, but it's good to have something to work for. And I've seen that in old people in Mexico. There was I think one of my uncles, or yeah, he was getting super depressed. He didn't have access to social media and anything, and then he started doing like his Facebook and doing things, and he started gaining a sense of purpose in his life. And now he's like completely changed. He's not depressed anymore. He's moving. He has plans. He has friends, online friends, but he has friends. Like he's socializing. So it's not a bad thing to have a something to look forward in the future. I think it gives you something, uh, but you have to enjoy the present. You don't have. I think that the problem is when you live too much in the future. Like it's just you just work for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna travel tomorrow because I have to work today. I think that's a problem. But when you live your present fully, looking forward to a nice bright future, I think that's the balance that you need to find in your life. Well, for me at least.
I definitely have lived too long in my past. And I don't know if that's human nature, that you think you can somehow rewrite the past or change the past somehow by thinking about it. Um, that's something I've been really trying to work on, is that, the past happened, but I don't live there. I'm not gonna, that's not who I am now. The person I am today is not the person I was even, a couple of years ago, yet alone 50, 60
Yeah.
years ago. So I tried to
No,
do
and
that.
you
But
have your lessons, and I think I don't regret the past. I don't live in the past, don't dwell on the past. I do have a lot of lessons, and sometimes I do get anxiety and depression from things that I lived, and I've had very traumatic experiences. So of course, they marked my present, but I think you have now the tools, so you won't go through the things that you went before. So you learned something, you evolved. So now you're looking to a brighter future because of these experiences that you have now. So it's complicated to think that way, and it takes a lot of work, but it's okay. I'm not the same person, and sometimes I was blaming me, like, how were you so dumb that you did this, or you why didn't you see this before it happened, or what? And I like just was beating myself up for those things, and I'm like, well, I didn't have the tools that I have now.
right,
Like I maybe if me goes back to that same situation, I won't repeat the pattern. But there, I didn't have any tools whatsoever to deal with that situation, so I was not able to pull myself out of that. So I am being more compassionate to my past self, and hopefully, my future self will be doing the same for me.
DJ says we replace our cells in our body over a 7-year span, so no one is the same as before, technically. That is
Well,
very
it's true.
true. And I think you're supposed to be learning and gaining those tools as you evolve so that you can help younger generations. And I tell my daughter all the time, everybody makes mistakes, everybody's going to make mistakes. I just don't want her to make the same mistakes that I made. It's like, learn from what I did that was a mistake, and then you make your own mistakes. But like, don't not take that information along with you, you know. And at first, she was kind of like, well, I'm not going to be dumb like you, or I'm not going to. And now it's like, now she realizes that I know a lot of things that she hasn't had to deal with yet in her young life. And there's things
Yeah.
that I can tell her that will save her some grief and save her some trouble on down the road. But there's still going to be things that come up that neither one of us have dealt with before, that it's
Yeah.
going to end up causing her a mistake because we didn't know how to handle it. But at first I thought, oh, this child is just not paying attention to what I'm trying to tell her, and she's going to go down the same road and do the same kind of silly stuff that I did. But now she gets it. Everybody should learn from everybody else's mistakes. And you
Yeah.
still, that doesn't prevent you from ever making a mistake, but at least you won't make a mistake that you could prevent. And I don't think we
Yeah.
live our life looking at mistakes like that, like, oh,
No.
wait, here's a mistake coming up. Let me think. Has anybody ever had this mistake happen to them? What did they do? What should I do? It's like we
Hmm.
just go head first into the mistake. And then it's like, after the fact, you look back and say, oh,
Ooh.
I should have saw that one coming.
Yeah.
But you don't. And,
Yeah.
and
No,
I
I
think that
totally get it.
that has a lot to do with, uh, like, being that I had my daughter so late in life, and I'm an older mom, but I have younger daughter. So a lot of the technology and just a lot of things culturally that have happened in the past 20, 30 years that I would have experienced as an adult, she's grown up with as a kid. And it makes it a different, you look at it differently. And so there's been a lot of things, especially like with the technology, that I'm like, I grew up without microwaves. I grew up without cell phones. I didn't have a
Hmm.
computer in my home, and all this stuff that she just not maybe takes for granted, but it's incorporated in her life. That's just how life is for her.
Yeah.
And so when I don't know how to do something on the computer or something on my cell phone, and I have to say, honey, can you help me? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And she can explain it to me to where then I can understand it. And I'm like, okay, next time I have to do that, I'll remember how you went about telling me to do that. But a lot of things, it's just like, and I've had my own friends, they're like, I don't know how you do anything on a computer, and I don't want to learn. I'm afraid of technology. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm like, but you're missing out on so many things because you don't have the computer, and you
Yeah.
don't try to do it. Is it scary not knowing what you're doing? Yeah, but you will learn as you go about doing.
Exactly.
And there's still so many things that I'm like, okay, my daughter's going to think I'm really silly, but I'm going to have to ask her, how do I do this? And it's
I
usually
think that, yeah,
something,
we
something
forget
so
about that
simple.
as with my mom and my dad. Like I'm a computer engineer, so I'm super like I know my thing with computers, and I work around computers all the time.
Yeah,
And she says the same thing to me. Like I'm very scared of asking you because I think you're gonna get angry. I'm like, no, I'm not getting angry. I like you taught me how to use a spoon. I'm gonna teach you how to use the computer. I think it's a give like win-win situation.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm trying because I was at the beginning I did get very stressed at it, but I don't think they're silly. It's just they grew up with a different environment. So it's just learning things, and computers are my only advice for computers is don't be afraid. Nothing's gonna break. If it is, it's just gonna reset the factory and it's fine. Unless you throw it away or you do something horrible to the computer, it's not gonna happen. So you burn it or something. Just
yeah.
play with it.
And
Yeah.
it is it does make you feel good when you do figure something out, and you learn something and you're like, huh, just a few weeks ago, I didn't know how to do that. And now look, I know what
Exactly.
I'm doing with it. I know there's always, plenty of things to learn, and the, I think it's the fear of just not knowing. And like my daughter, I said, your brain is like a computer. It works like a computer works. My brain works like a piece of paper and a pencil. It's like you have to break it
Mhm.
down into a way that, I can get it. You can't just, and sometimes she'll use different terminology and things. And I'm like, well, that would be really good if I knew what that was that you're saying, that I have to do this or I have to do that. I don't even know what that is.
And
So,
what is that term? Yeah. No, and
yeah,
I get that. Like, and especially like me, like my first computer was at 15, but I'm a computer engineer and I use terms with my dad he won't understand. But I also get that, like, my daughter, she knows more about like computers and devices that I do. Like the other day she was doing something like, how did you do that? Like, how did you do that? Like, I didn't even know my phone could do that, because she's born into that. Like I remember when she was a little girl and she like used my phone, she already, I think she went to the TV and she just tried to swipe the TV to the left
uh-huh,
or the right or something,
uh-huh.
because they already have the gestures integrated in their brain. Like she's like super small and we don't have that. So I imagine like generations that are older than me, of course they're not going to have the same things. Like it's, so we have to adapt. And I think for you it's more like people like my parents or my grandparents, it was very difficult for them to adapt because the world was completely, there was no computers, no cell phones. Like it was very different. Like I remember my childhood, I was going out playing in like the park with my friends in the street. Mom was telling me like come back when it's dark. Like, and now
Yeah,
you like you don't do that. Like now it's a punishment if I tell my son you have to go to the park. Like what did I do? Like you need to go be a boy. You know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's very different how life is right now.
Well, my granddaughter has a tablet, and it has all these different, games and movies and books and just all kinds of things. And it's a learning thing. And as
Mhm.
she figures one thing out, then it'll change and, go up a level. And then she has to figure that out. But she'll say, oh, Granny, play this game with me. And I'll sit there and I'll look at it. And I'm like, I don't have the first clue in what it is I'm supposed to do to make this, work or whatever. And she's like, well, you press this button and then you flip and then you do this. And I'm like, how did you figure that out? And she's like, I don't know, I just played with it. And I'm like, that's what they do. They spend hours looking at stuff that I don't ever, and like my daughter said, if you would just spend some time with your phone looking at the things in the phone. Like she said, go to each, setting or whatever and just see what it pulls up. Then you'll get a sense of, okay, this is under this menu or this, because I'm like, okay, I don't have the first clue where I would go to do, whatever it is I want to do. I still
Mhm.
can't even change my picture in my like on Facebook if I want to put a different profile picture. For some reason it that makes me have trouble every time. And I'll sit there and I'll play with it and play with it. And then she'll say, oh, I noticed you don't have a profile picture. It's like, yeah, because I canceled it, but I couldn't make me a new one. She's like, well, it's so easy. Just click on this and click that and pick which
But
picture.
but that's the thing. Like I was actually having a conversation with Clint the other day about this because I was like he was trying to learn something on the computer and I was trying to
Mhm.
explain and I told him like my first go-to phrase was it's so easy. Like, well, it's easy for you because you do it and you know how to do it. But for me, I haven't done it. So I'm like, I don't know how to do it. And then I was thinking, he was telling me the same thing when I was cooking. He's an awesome cook. I'm not. And he was walking me through things. And it's so easy, him. And I'm like, it's not easy. I don't know how to do it. You know how to do it. So it just clicked like, oh, okay. So I'm not going to use that phrase anymore. Because for me, it was like, okay, it's not easy because he doesn't know how to do it. It's like me cooking. It's a
Yeah.
different world.
Yeah, it is.
So I think we need,
It's
yeah.
totally different. Hi, Victor, Truth Wave Energy.
Hey,
Welcome.
Victor.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it, that especially for us seniors, you don't want to appear stupid, or you may have raised your children and they think you know what you're doing, and then you have to ask them something simple about their phone or your phone or something, and then they might think a little less about you or whatever. And I think that scares them to the point that they just say, well, I don't really need to do that. I don't have to learn how to do that. And it's like I've tried to tell people how to do things on, like Restream or whatever. And after
Mhm.
you do it so many times, you don't even think about the steps that you're actually doing. And
Yeah,
then when you try to tell somebody else the steps, you're like, oh wait, no, I didn't tell you, you got to do this first and then go to that. And it's the same way with them when they're trying
yeah,
to help us learn something, because they don't think about it in the breaking it down step by step process, because they've done
that's
it so many
correct.
times. It's just that second nature. You just do this and this and you're done.
Hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I don't get it. You can, and my daughter always says, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do this, and you won't have to ask me next time. Okay, good. I'll get a piece of paper and a pen, and I'm like, okay, step number one, I go where, she's like, no, 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 just look. I'll show you on the phone. Okay, that's the problem. You're showing me flipping through the phone, which I don't even know where you're going to find those things, so I can't repeat that. You know.
And the way you learn things is different because me, I do write things in my notebook. I have notebooks because I need to follow the steps. And but the only thing is like just go play with it. Like I whenever I install a new program, like what does this do? Like I'm just like I'm gonna click on it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna happen. Like what's the worst? I uninstall the program and I install it again. Like that's like no big issue. Like so but for me that's what I do. So I just test things and I'm there and I'm like I play with it and so but it's a different mindset, I think. So it's just we need to adapt to different mindsets. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to go now. I have my daughter is getting a
Okay.
little bit
All right.
anxious.
Well, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you, everybody that came in and commented and asked questions. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I'll have to pick your brain about the crystal thing, because I do want to get a bracelet or something. So I have to
Oh,
figure out what I need. So,
sure. Send me a message on Facebook, and then I'll like the conversation we have, and then I'll
okay.
walk you through that. Yeah.
Okay. Great. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Nico's got to
Thank you,
go to
and I
bed.
hope you can go to my channel one day. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good night. See
Bye.